Welcome to another episode of the Huge Podcast. The Huge Podcast, and I told you I was off.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks a lot.
Azeez,
Finally,
it's been a while.
I know, right?
Sensei, mentor, Jedi.
I wish, I
I'm your
wish.
I'm your Padawan, man. Going back to our clinical days,
Yeah,
behavioral technician days,
A- analyst.
analyst. Do you miss it?
uh, because I'm still in it, right? But just in a different company, I would say. So
Right.
I generally I would say no,
No.
because now I see that's work. So you know,
Right.
it's gotten here to me. Like I'm
Uh,
done.
it's
To be
different.
frank, I'm done.
To be honest though, did it start as a passion? Or your
Yeah, it
passion?
started as a passion, was a passion. I loved it.
And it pays.
Um, and it pays,
Right.
pays the bills. And then it reached a certain level where I even saw it as like this just human behavior was something it became like my Bible. I could read it in
Right.
everything I was doing with
It,
my dog, with my wife, with
oh my
my
God. You
friends.
mentioned dog. I remember Cesar Milan. Now I know why he knows how to do those things. It's all psychology.
it's
It's
all.
all it's all applied behavior analysis shit.
It's all about everything, like literally everything is behavior at the end of the day, right? Everything. Talking is a behavior, walking is a behavior
Yes.
at the end of the day, you
Thinking
know,
is a
and
behavior.
and just that really, I would say, did help me. But at the end of the day, my work has reached a certain level where, you know, I'm like,
I'm
I'm done.
done.
I'm done. Done.
Have you seen those memes, bro? Like where
Which
this guy just flings his papers up in the air. I'm so done. And on the next
nah, I
page,
haven't.
I'm just joking. He just picked up the papers. I'm gonna insert it right here so people are gonna see it. Oh
No,
man, but I'm
I
still in
haven't
it
seen it.
though. Yeah, I'm still in it, but as a freelancer, I get
Oh,
to be my own boss. I love it. Um, I get to build relationships with clients, which is I don't know, it's weird, man. I kind of know why, not to boast here, but I feel like I'm good in my job
okay.
because I know how to, make relationships and stuff, and maintain them to compensate for
Mm.
lack of skill. I'm not good technical wise, man, but I have to, build that rapport,
Okay.
lie a bit, throw
Rapport
some
to
throw some
makes sense. Makes
yeah,
sense. I would say we uh I would say we all everyone does that. I would say
yeah.
like at the end of the day, like it's not just in our field. It's in
Oh yeah.
literally everything, accounting, everything, admin work. You have to sort of, even if you don't know everything, you have to always build that relationship,
Yeah.
for the chances of promotion. And everybody's just, how do you say, everyone is just dick riding each other. Everyone is
Really.
just sort of worshiping each other because like I'm gonna get this promotion or I'm not gonna get fired.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
if
always like
if we
vested
all like,
interest, right?
yeah, yeah, you see your supervisor and you're like, you know,
There's always a motive
chat,
to all the things, right? Like I'm
yeah,
being
pretty much,
kind, I'm being this.
pretty
But
much.
I wasn't really thinking about those things earlier. Like I never thought even about promotions, man. Like that wasn't really my thing. And to be
Hmm.
frank, like, I'm that kind of guy like who never thinks about my future. I don't have plans. I don't really
Okay,
set goals and
okay.
like and I just honestly see that this podcast is my learning curve. Like this is where I get to learn about people and how they did it in hopes of me ripping off or learning from them. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
but you have plans. Like you just don't. You have plans for this podcast, right? Like
oh, of course. I
you
mean,
just don't want it
yeah,
to be stagnant,
right.
right?
mean, I don't know if we're stagnant at all, but because you can also be stagnant, moving and still be stagnant and not achieving results.
Yeah, but at least you're aiming for something, right? That's
Yes.
it's a question. Like, are you aiming for something? Because, like you
Yeah,
said, you
we
don't
do.
really.
Actually, we
Okay.
do. And this is the good thing about like running this thing
Hmm.
with somebody else, like my co-host, who's like
Yeah. Yeah.
basically doing the more cerebral tasks of the podcast. Like he
Of
thinks
the
for the
podcast.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do have meetings. We do plan a lot. We do set some goals for ourselves. And we in the greater grand scheme of things, as long as we stay true to these three core things. So we just recently discovered these three core things, like hope, untapped potential, and value. As long as we stick to these three things, this is our north star, and we keep rowing this boat, we'll never get lost, and we're still heading for that direction we're heading to.
Mm.
But yeah, man, that's just the two of us, and to be honest, this thing ain't easy, man. Like shit. I mean, nothing is
Yeah.
easy, I think.
Not. Yeah. Nothing good comes easy. So
And it won't be
for
worth it,
sure.
right? If it ain't easy, it won't be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Like, at the end of the day, like, focus. Like you said, you spoke about your North Star. And as long as you're still aiming for that North and heading towards the North Star, you know, worst, like I always say, aim for the sun. Worst case scenario, you get to the moon. You know,
Yeah, yeah. I aim for the highest. If you may not get there, at least
yeah,
you'll
but
get
at least you
somewhere.
get somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've heard that
but don't
before.
don't 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 exaggerate it. Like, I can beat Usain Bolt. Bullshit. Don't.
I'm that kind of guy too. Like I exaggerate a lot of things.
Oh, I don't, by the way. Like, I sort of
Really,
know my limits. Like,
really.
like I know my limits. That's one another thing. Like, part of my personal philosophy is that you know, lie to the world, but never lie to yourself. You know,
Right.
it's never ever ever. Like, yeah, there are aims. You can have aims, but there are also some things that you just tell yourself, and deep inside you, like, that's
But hands off.
definitely
Like,
impossible.
nah, it's not.
And then there are some
Yeah.
things, like, if I have the right tools or I have the right experience, I will get there.
Why not?
Yeah,
But
it's just that.
don't you need to have that, like that bravado, like, that confidence too? Like, I can do it, even though like it seems so like, far fetched. Like,
Yeah,
is
a
that
little
still
bit.
exaggerating? Is that still lying to yourself though?
You know yourself. Depends on what it is. Things like I always say, you have patterns. If
Right.
you haven't been working towards that thing, and all of a sudden you have the opportunity to experience something new, and you haven't been working towards it, don't lie to yourself that I can do this thing. For example, you know I don't know, like, now, oh, I'm a little bit into UFC, just a little bit. And sometimes I'm watching this guy, I'm like, man, I think I can try this stuff.
Why not? But again, you're being honest to yourself.
But again, I'm honest with myself, and
Too
I look
honest,
at
I
some of
think.
the, yeah, too.
Cause I seen you, man. You got the build. Have you done any MMA or stuff? Anything?
I've
Jiu-jitsu?
never,
Ever?
never, ever. And
So you have to be clearly
and
honest
I'm,
with, be honest, like super
I'm
honest with
honest with
yourself.
myself. I'm like, look at my age, my I don't have the
Yeah,
time. My wife would probably kill me as
right.
soon as I say that.
Priorities, man. Family.
So yeah. But anyway, like, let's jump into, like, money. I think that's one topic, and
Yeah. Also, like,
yeah,
I would like to talk
yeah.
about that because like, people say like I'm abroad. I think people say I think Like maybe people back at home think like I'm well off because I'm abroad or I'm earning real money and stuff.
You're earning
Like
in dirhams.
dirhams, but people really don't know, man. Like I also
The
like
hustle is crazy.
it's hustle is crazy, and that's why I'm not too flashy. I don't flex or anything because I'm being real with myself, man. Because I know that's something that even money is something I'm still working on. So I'm not really good at that. It's good, and I like that you brought this up because working for so long, 8 years here in Dubai. I'm finally the sun is setting on me for Dubai, and I'm still not financially where I want to be. And I don't regret it, but I wish I had learned. I wish I had been more wiser with money in the beginning. But now I'm slowly getting the hang of it. I just got married. I got the taste of it, like what it's like now to only supporting yourself, but also a family member, and shit, money is not easy to come by, and reality hits, and you're not a bachelor anymore.
Every penny that comes in now, you're like,
Yeah,
how do I either, you know, build this penny to become, a pound, and from a pound to become, an asset, and
yeah.
and then have like passive income and stuff like that. But anyway, jumping into like just generally, like I think we should start from like what is money? Like I think that we should go from there.
Yeah, what is money?
Um,
What is money, by the way?
um,
You're a historian
fir-
yourself. You love history.
yeah, I love history because I love history because you learn a lot from history. Like the more you know with history, the more you can sort of tweak life, and you know that things are gonna how they say like
History repeats itself.
history doesn't repeat, or it rhymes or something like that.
Right.
You know,
There are
if you have
patterns.
this, yeah, just very the patterns are just out there and very linked. And if you know that this stuff is gonna happen, it might not be the exact same way. It's a big advantage.
Right.
So anyway, like money, money is it has different definition. It's kind of like love, you know. You can define it in different ways. I would say it's a very subjective word. However, I would say money is a protocol. It's a language.
Right.
It's an energy. The reason why we have money is the reason whatever amount you have in your bank account is 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 an energy that is saved for the future. So you want to do something else, okay? You take that money to do that thing. Energy is time. It's a language. It's one language everyone speaks. Like even if you don't speak Tagalog,
Yeah.
French, English, Yoruba, you know at the end of the day, if I see you and I tell you, head, give me,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just do this and I bring out dollars, you would definitely understand, like
Yeah.
he wants my headphones, he wants to give me. So it's a language. It's it's if used properly, I think would if it's truly, if money is not controlled by people, by certain people, I think
Right.
it's one way to literally save the world. They say,
Really.
um,
So who controls the money then?
oh, the government. I would say the government
Ba-
has a
the
monopoly on
the banks.
money. Uh, yeah, the bank and the government. I would say both of them sort of linked. At the end of the day, the bank and the government, and or should I would say people in power control
Right.
money. And if money was decentralized, then you know the world would be a way, 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 way better place. We did based on history. Different cultures use different things as money. If you go way back, people were using salt as money. Some people were using,
To trade
you know,
for
to
value.
trade literally for value,
Yeah.
for services.
Silver or
Then they moved to like animal tooth. People moved to carries. In my culture, people were using carries.
what's a
Then
carry?
they moved to It's kind of like a shell, like a special African shell.
Really? Do they
And
how
that was what
do
they
they
were
do they
using.
sell nowadays? Like, is that rare? Is that a
They don't sell. They use it to design stuff now. Like
okay?
so
Oh,
you wouldn't. They do sell, but it's like artwork and stuff now. And why did they stop using it? You know, they almost everything. If you think about it, the reason why they started using salt or metal, like different metals, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, was they always had features that made them useful to trade with someone else,
right.
either their portability or the value that people put on it. Okay, everybody likes gold because it's rare or because it looks nice or something
Or
like that.
it's difficult to make or
It's difficult to make and
one. But in back in the old days, that's why I think it's very valuable because it's alchemy,
yeah,
right? Difficult
yeah,
to
but it's still, I would say it's still difficult. They say like the whole gold in the whole world, by the way, like the
yeah.
real, not fake gold, everything, if you could take all the gold in the whole world, it would fit in two standard Olympic standard swimming pool. That's it,
Really,
by
and
the
that's
way.
it. It's
That's it.
at the end of the day, it's limited.
It's limited. At the end of the day, it's true 24 karat gold would only fit two standard swimming pool,
So that's why like
Olympic swimming pool.
Robert Kiyosaki is like high on this gold and silver stuff, right?
Gold and silver is God's money.
Like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's he's he is crazy
it's
about.
crazy. He mentions crypto, but at the end of the day, I still prefer gold and silver.
Cash is trash.
Weird.
That's cause he's a boomer. He's an old man. Like
Yeah,
someone like him would not. If you tell him, you know, 20, 30 years ago, and that's what like guys like Warren Buffett are still struggling with. Someone like him, if you told him there's this company that is gonna worth 500 billion, and people just post their pictures on it,
yeah.
and people just speak their mind on the computer, and everybody will be crazy about that thing you see on the screen.
Hype.
The guy, and you tell him like invest in this company, the guy will be like hell no, But
Really.
I think like a young person like us, we would understand that,
Yeah.
things like that, digital, and that's why he's more into. At least He's open to crypto, but he's still crazy about gold. But compared to like people like Warren Buffett, those ones,
That guy's
there's no hope for them.
that guy's super practical. Like he's still driving that old car, right? Shit. Damn. Like
Well,
amass all those
he's
riches, but
he's
still driving.
practical, but
Yeah.
he got late into like buying stocks from Apple. He's just bought
Really.
stocks from Apple maybe like 7, 8 years ago. You know,
Okay.
he always said, that he didn't believe Apple would be anything, and all this digital. So it sort of makes sense because they're old guys, and they don't get the whole digital age. They won't get a
They're
kid being on TikTok for like
yeah.
4 hours straight. Like what the fuck? They
They're
would
still
never
stuck.
get something like that.
They're still stuck with their old ways, I guess.
They're still stuck in their old ways,
And it worked for
and
them,
the
man. It worked for them. Like, why not, right?
yeah, and that's what's gonna keep reinforcing them because they're rich, So and almost everybody around them is yes sir people. Everybody around them is like yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
Oh yeah.
Everyone around them. So if they say this, they're like, oh, that makes sense. Everybody will no, very few people will question them. So I so don't I wouldn't totally like sort of take my advice from people like that. Totally. I would take, at the end of the day, I'll take some things, but not
Yeah.
there's still
I
some things I
I
don't
take
expect them to understand.
those advice from Warren, like being frugal and being practical though, because
Mm,
I need that. I need that kind of discipline in my life.
yeah. Yeah. I do respect him for that. Like, he's someone that which I use that in my sort of my savings life. When people are selling, let's just use
Yeah.
stock for that. When people are selling, if you believe in that thing, buy. And when people are buying, sell. And he's very, very heavy on just, if you believe in that thing, just buy it, keep it for a freaking long time.
Really?
Buy 20 years if you believe in that thing, if you know that thing is going to grow, if you believe in that business, buy and just keep it for a long time. And I really, 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 if one thing I have learned from Warren Buffett, he's not a big fan of mine at all, but that is one thing I think. And I think
You have
every
applied that, right?
person, I have applied that in my day-to-day
Yeah.
life, in my financial life, I would say.
Yeah.
And
Because you're
you
a
know,
you're a big crypto guy now, and you started like.
no, I wouldn't say I'm a big crypto guy. I wouldn't say I'm not, again, like
Anyone
for me,
who's not me and who's into the crypto scene like 5 years ahead of me, I would refer to him as a big crypto guy. I just recently jumped into that bandwagon.
but for me, it's not about crypto per se. For me, it's about Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin was the first, not really the first per se. They've done things like that, but it was truly the first, cryptocurrency that really showed what digital, um, digital currencies can do, and the way it was made. The guy who made it, or we don't know if it's a gal, it's a girl. We don't know if it was a group of people.
Satoshi was it? Was it?
Yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto. We don't know if it was a group of people, but
Yeah.
it's almost certain because there are some emails where he referred to himself as he, like he referred to himself. So for sure, probably was a guy, and it was just one person, and he did it. This guy has like 1 million Bitcoin right now that hasn't been touched.
Filthy rich.
And no, we definitely know he's alive. We definitely know he's alive. And this guy hasn't touched the wallet. He didn't, like you look at other cryptocurrency, people make them and people keep like 60% of it, of that current. And then they release 40%.
They only release the 40%.
40% to the world, and a lot of scam. There are over 8,000 coins. Go to the website coinmarketcap.com, and the list just goes on. There are thousands and thousands of coins. Like you can check. There's Trump coin. There's
Really
Doge coin. There's
Dogecoin.
Sure
Dogecoin is bullish, by the way. Have you seen it, man? I don't know. People call Dodge a joke, but shit, he has reached.
You know what you do? You run.
He's reached for the
It's a
moon,
joke.
man. Shit.
It's a joke.
0.4.
It was made as a joke.
Yeah.
It was made as a joke.
But Elon keeps pumping it. I don't know why.
He's joking.
Thank you, Michael.
Well,
Call
now-
me the Doge Father.
Yeah, he's joking. He's just trolling. He memes. Unlike other CEO, this is a guy that memes and
Yeah,
he
he's totally the opposite of a
jokes.
CEO.
Yeah,
he's so
totally
unorthodox.
yeah, like which I love about him at the same time. But at the same time, he's joking about the whole Dogecoin thing, and a lot of people are taking it as like investment advice.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. Like we didn't speak that much about money, but another thing that you definitely we all need to put into consideration is inflation.
Right.
Inflation is one thing that is literally it's taxation without you even knowing. I remember the first time when I came to Dubai.
Yeah, take us through that,
This
man.
story, I've told this story 1,000 times, but I bought KFC. I remember KFC snack box. If people know that KFC snack box, if
I
you can
remember
put
you
like a
told me
picture
this
of
one.
it, just two pieces of chicken, French fries, and a bun. That's it. This was going for about, I think, like 9 dirhams or 8 dirhams when I came, and this was like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago. Right now, that same snack box of KFC is around 13 or 14 dirhams right now.
There you go.
So
There's your
I
inflation.
that's so if I took if I wanted to buy KFC that day, 8 years ago, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna buy 2021. I take that 8 dirhams and I put it in the bank and I kept it there. Right now, if I say, okay, it's time, I want to have my KFC, I can't afford to buy that KFC. I haven't touched my money. I just left it in the bank. The bank were nice enough to keep it and
Yeah.
not touch it. At the end of the day, like, still really shouldn't increase that much,
Yeah.
like at all. And we're in a country where, you know, we're pegged to the dollar. Like UAE's money is pegged to the dollar, like
Really.
3.65. It's usually fixed at that
It's
rate.
fixed, right?
So
I never seen it
yeah,
gone up or gone down.
gone down. And so the illusion that you're not losing money, it feels like you're not losing money, but you're actually losing money every year. You're losing 8 to 9% of your wealth every year. Every year. The bond is still there, or your snack box or whatever you're buying is still there, but the value of it keeps increasing. So one, it makes almost no sense for people to leave their money in the bank or under the mattress. Like it makes no sense. I would advise, even if you want to do that, have money that, okay, emergency money. Always have your emergency money. Say whatever your daily or monthly expenses are, have like 2 months of that in the bank. Or
Right.
if you want to put it under your mattress, no problem.
Yeah. Or keep it somewhere.
Keep it somewhere. And then the rest is just, at this day and age, it's just very silly to not make sure that the remaining money is working for you.
Right.
It's either it should be working for you and that's investment, or you're saving it in an asset that does not depreciate.
Depreciate, yeah.
So
So not in a bank then.
definitely not in the bank. And at the end of the day, like the bank is literally just taking your money,
Yeah.
like
Also
taking your
rolling
money.
it somewhere.
Yeah, literally they're just like giving it to other like multimillionaires and they are investing. Like
Minories or whatnot.
exactly, like, and you don't get anything for you're helping the bank by giving the bank your money. It might be a little amount, but you're giving the bank money so that they can loan it to other people that get loans for cars, for houses, for it's your money that you're leaving in the bank. And at the end of the day, the bank is not going to give you a cut out of whatever profit they make.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense. But the crazy thing is, if you think about it, like what are things that you can invest in that, especially for like our generation, like if you think about it, I'm almost certain in the Philippines, like your parents, your grandpa, your parents, they were buying houses for like
Cheap.
50K, 20K,
Cheap.
cheap.
Yeah.
Right now, you want to buy an apartment, even in the Philippines, because we had an ex-colleague, by the way. I was supposed to like, um, you
You
know,
can drop his name.
Arian,
Yes. So he'll
Arian.
listen to this. Did he sell you one of them condos or something?
No, I was supposed to do it with him.
Really?
He already did, I think, one, and he was aiming for the second one
Right.
as of that time.
Like, and that's a big thing for our Filipino culture, like especially for the
Yeah.
OFWs. Like a
Mm.
lot of these agents from these real estate,
Real estate. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they usually target the expats, like the overseas Filipino workers, because they got the money, and these Filipino workers like don't know
It's
where
not
to
even
put their
about
money.
they have the money. They have better. Their currency is stronger.
Yes. So should I
That's
should
why.
should my relationship be with like how I see money? Shouldn't be addressed as money, or should I see it as a currency now?
No, see it as. I would say see it as your time.
Time.
See it as time.
See
See
this as
money
something
as
where I
time.
can buy time with.
Yeah, you can buy
Right.
time with. You can save time. You can save time for the future. Literally, I take this money, and you
Enjoy the future.
you enjoy the future much better
Right.
if you plan your life properly and can you know save money. It will save time in future. Try and I would say, like, my wife hates this, but suffer now, you know and flex, and
Flex
live the
later.
life, flex later.
Nah.
And yeah, I'll just say, like, there is almost no, especially for our generation, there's almost no hope. Like for us, you're Filipino,
Yeah.
I'm Nigerian, we can't buy Apple stock. We sort of, if most people are buying, going on forex, and
Why
they're
is that?
doing trading, because we're not Americans.
Really?
You can do
Is
things
Apple stock exclusive for Americans?
pretty much. I would, only if you're like a millionaire, like a
Right, right,
sheikh. You don't have to be a millionaire. Like, you have to be quite rich,
right.
to really buy. And what I mean, I don't mean like leverage or using futures. I mean, like, buy Apple shares or Twitter or whatever, anything, Ford shares, and it's
Yeah,
yours. It's under your name.
right,
You know, then that is like, this is my property. We can't do that. And if we wanted to do that, we would do it as a foreign investor.
right.
And at the end of the day, we are definitely going to be taxed. You know,
Oh,
definitely going to be taxed. So it's almost, for us, we can't really buy houses because those are insanely expensive. And they will tell you, okay, you know what, you can plan out your life and pay 1,000 dirhams every month for the next 15 years,
mortgage.
mortgage crap. And if you fuck up in between that,
There's your
like,
interest.
you lose your job, or something like that, either the house is gone,
Yeah, collateral. And then some of
you
your
know,
properties go as well too. Like,
they go as well. Like,
yeah,
it's
just a
just
collateral.
crazy. So for me, you know, and I'm not just saying like crypto, Bitcoin, it's literally everything. You can literally save Bitcoin in your head. You can have $1 billion just stored up here. You can have it on your phone. You can have it on your USB stick. You can have it
Yeah,
saved in your PC, in your Xbox, and no one would know. It's literally, and the fact that it's digital, there's so many advantages. So easy to move.
so
You can
liquid,
travel with,
so liquid, right?
so literally, you can move with it from France to Germany, and you can carry $1 billion with you, and no one would know. And that's one really cool thing. And the time is
Yeah,
now. Like,
I kind of figured that out too, because when you have these wallets online, you're still anonymous, right? Nobody knows.
not really, no, not really. And by the way, when you buy Bitcoin online, you don't own that Bitcoin, by the way,
Really? Why is that?
because
Are we just
Bitcoin has,
leasing it? We're just renting it?
not really. You How do I say? Okay, say for example, which one do you really own? The cash right now in your wallet,
Yeah.
or the amount of money in your bank account? Which one do you really own, where you have 100% control over it?
The cash in my bank account.
Nope. The cash in your hand, cash in your wallet.
Really?
Because let's say right now the police comes in and says, "Oh, you did something crazy. You're going to jail."
You can freeze it.
They're so gonna freeze it. Or
Yeah, now I get it. I was kind of slow on that one. Now I realized. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
or your visa expires. Your
that
visa
can happen.
expires, and your visa expires, or you're out of the country for a certain duration, or any shit can happen, and they're like,
Right.
it's just a click of a button. They just
Yeah.
make one phone call.
Just like that.
and like that, you know.
So that's why
They
we don't own a single crypto that we
yeah.
buy
If
off these
the one
wallets.
online, they every Bitcoin, if you buy Bitcoin or whatever, if you hold Bitcoin, you always have something called a private key, and then there's a public key. Every wallet has a private and a public key. A public key is what you share around, sort of see it like your public key is kind of your a lame way. This is the lamest way, of course, people can, but just see it like your username. That's what you
Right.
share. Like, okay, can I send you an email? What's your username? But you don't tell people your password,
Sure,
right?
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
So that's your private key. Now, when you remove your Bitcoin from an online exchange, you're taking your private key with you. Okay. Don't worry. By the way, you don't see all this stuff. It's
Yeah, yeah.
all
It's all
people.
meta. It
It's
goes,
all
it's go so digital. It
right.
doesn't happen right in front of us.
It doesn't right. Yeah, exactly. It's all happening at the background. At the but just again, if anything happens, exchanges have been hacked before,
Really,
lots of times. Exchanges, and
it's still not safe. Yeah.
it's not safe. Now, it's crazy when you remove the Bitcoin and keep it with yourself. Either you keep it on your phone that has its own wallet, or you keep it on a cold storage, or you can keep it on the paper. There are ways you can save your Bitcoin literally on paper. Now you become the bank. Now, if you lose your Bitcoin, there's no customer service you call and say,
Right.
"Hello," it's gone. If you
I
lose the
have seen
Bitcoin,
these devices though, like where you can have a small hardware USB and then just basically place your cryptos in it. I've seen those things.
those are called cold wallets. So there's like online wallets is like what you have on your exchange where you buy Bitcoin. Those are called online wallets because it's like online, right? Cold wallets are like that USB thingy you said. They don't really need internet. It saves the Bitcoin there. So even if you get hacked, as long as the person doesn't have the world's cheapest interrogation tool, which is like a hammer and threatens you, or the guys with
Yeah.
six packs with all the muscle in the world and threaten that one, you have to give it up. But like, you can't get hacked with that. It's almost impossible because the person has to be there in front of you. And even if your computer has the world's greatest virus, they still can't take your Bitcoin. At the end of the day, I would always tell people like when you buy your crypto, especially if you're accumulating it, always remove it. Always remove it from the exchange. Always.
Really?
You were gonna ask, yep.
From the
Always remove
wallet itself, I need to remove it.
from yeah, you need to remove it. Only leave what you
Originally
want
put.
to either what you want to sell or what you want to buy or
What you
what you
want to
want to
risk
sell.
losing.
Losing, exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking of the long term, if you're thinking of like 5 years or like this is my savings, this is my retirement, something, this is the amount I have to buy a house, to travel the world with my wife and stuff, you don't want to keep that there. Somebody gets your password,
Yeah, it's
done.
not safe. Especially now,
Yeah.
like there are a lot of like insidious people out there, like whose only sole purpose is to like, creep into your wallets and then basically siphon out everything.
And think about it as well. When you buy the Bitcoin online, you you open your Visa or MasterCard and you say buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, then your computer shows you have $50 worth of Bitcoin, 0.0006,
But it's still
whatever.
not yours.
Exactly. It's not yours. Your screen is showing you that. How do you know that, they really bought that Bitcoin? How do you know? There's a saying in Bitcoin world or in cryptocurrency world, not your keys, not your coin. If you
Really?
don't, not your keys, not your
Not your
coin.
coin.
Think about how did money really start? I don't. One of the history behind money was paper money. Now I'm
Yeah.
talking about paper money.
The bill. The fiat money.
Yeah. Fiat, literally. Yeah,
Fiat,
exactly.
yeah.
You're into this.
Nah,
You
I
know your
listen.
shit.
I listen. But I listen. I read stuff.
You're using some keywords which shows
Keywords.
that
Keywords make you sound smart. Yeah. you need that in this podcast. Like shit. How money
people were
started, right?
people were using the gold. Gold was one thing that nobody could really create out of thin air. Yeah.
Right.
So it was something that was very hard to find and to accumulate. So people were using gold as money. Now, one of the disadvantages of gold is the portability. I can't leave $1 million worth of gold in my house right now. I can't move it from one place to another. If I'm going somewhere, I can't even keep it safe. Like, to have that amount of gold, I need security. So I'm
an
literally
army.
paying. You need an army to have that. So people started saying, okay, you know what? Why can't we keep our gold with this guy? So anyway, long story short, people were keeping their gold with a certain group of people. So you would pay like a certain fee out of your gold. Okay? You pay a certain fee out of your gold for people to keep your gold. So if you had like 5 ounces of gold, you tell them like every year take like this certain chunk of my gold, or every 2 years take this certain chunk of my gold with you. Now it got very famous. A lot of people were doing it and they were storing their gold with this group of people. Let's just call them
Thus the bank was born.
bank. Let's just go
Fucking
exact.
man.
But now when people were saving their gold with them,
Right.
now people were getting receipts. Just to make it easier,
Yeah.
people were getting receipts like, oh, Azeez has 5 ounces of gold. Abby has 20 ounces of gold. They were getting paper like, okay, blah, blah, blah. Now, when people were far and wide and they were transacting and, trading, now you wanted to get paid, you were like, oh, okay, you know what? I have like 5 ounces of gold in Sharjah. Take this sheet of paper, go and show them, look, it has my signature, it has their signature as well, blah, blah, blah. Take this sheet of paper, they will give you 1 ounce of gold.
Right.
So this guy built a house for me. I just take my receipt, rip it, give it to him, go to that place, go and get your gold. Now, people were using that paper so much, and the paper itself became value.
Right.
The paper itself became value.
Then something came
Now
out
that
of that.
then the bank was now like, oh, that makes sense. We can now start using this paper. Our receipt became valuable. It was like literally buying gold. So that's how paper money was created, literally. Now, what then happened with the banks was that people started to inflate. The bank themselves started to print more paper than what they had in the bank, than what they had in their storage or whatever you want to call their vaults.
This is the sad thing about that, because you never know how
power, right? Like
you never know
power,
how much banks
power.
are printing shit.
Yeah.
Central
Power corrupts. Like no matter like, how do they say that? Like power something, but absolute power. That's why it keeps it, because
it's as if we've succumbed to inflation. Like, it's normal. Fuck, it shouldn't be like that.
Now it's even now the government even makes sure there's a minimum of 2% inflation every year. Literally, there's a minimum of 2% inflation. And at least it was even better before, because before we were on the gold standard. We were on the gold standard, meaning every country around the world, their federal bank made sure everyone had whatever currency was in circulation. So say, for example, in the whole America, there was $20 billion circulating. America in their central bank had $20 billion worth of gold. So before, by the way, before 19 Dixon, what's the name of that president?
The position of the American dollar.
President, 1970 something. He was the one that made the law. Before, you could take a certain amount of dollars to the bank and exchange it for gold. So to control the government, gold was a standard, like to discipline so that the government just doesn't print infinity.
Yeah.
Gold was something that, okay, if we want to print new dollars, we have to make sure we have that amount of
We have
gold.
that gold. But who's the controlling body who checks if there is gold? Just themselves.
Themselves.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets, except in amounts and conditions determined to be in the interest of monetary stability and in the best interest of the United States.
Oh my God.
Which at the end
It's a vicious cycle. Shit.
vicious cycle, and they just abused it. Now even it's no more. After that president, 1970, the guy made it a law that America is no more going to follow that standard, and we're no more going to follow the gold standard. We're just going to print infinitely. So, and starting from then, and that's why you see like houses in California, and you know everybody follows America. You know, everything follows America. The most used currency in the world is the dollar. You know, everything is in the dollar. Houses that people were buying in California for like $20,000 right now are going for like $600,000. The same houses are going for like $600,000, $800,000. They've inflated by like 80, 90, or 120x. You know, back then, men were getting married. Men at the age of and they were married very young. They were married like 26, 27. And their wives were at home. Their wives were housewives, not even working. And they had kids, and they would take care of their family, have a car, you know, have a house,
enjoy life.
But right now,
go for summer vacations.
No way will like our generation be able to do that. No way. No way can a 20, apart from only if you're like your parents were like mega rich, you know, and you inherited, you know, all your
you're a hedge
politicians.
Fund. You're a hedge fund baby.
Yeah, literally. So it's almost certain like it's too late for us. Really? I would say, but it's Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's. I think for some reason these cryptos were made in order for us, the ordinary people, to have some piece of that land, right? So we can,
literally
to own
piece
something.
of the pie.
Yeah.
And Satoshi Nakamoto sort of mentioned it, you know, the first Bitcoin transaction, which you and I can check, you know, Bitcoin is an open source technology. You know, that means you and I can be part of Bitcoin.
There's no one owning it.
Nobody owns Bitcoin. No one owns Bitcoin. It's open. You like for your viewers, the lamest way to explain what Bitcoin is. Everyone, for sure, if you're listening or watching this, everybody knows what Microsoft Excel is, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft Excel.
Your spreadsheet.
Bitcoin is literally a spreadsheet it's literally just a spreadsheet that has 1,000 copies on everyone's computer. That's what Bitcoin is. It's just a spreadsheet. Unlike the bank has that spreadsheet and it's just one copy. The bank owns that spreadsheet. So the bank can do anything. They can change it. They can say, Michael doesn't have any more. Matt now has 20,000. Matt doesn't have 20,000 anymore.
Right.
Because they own that spreadsheet. Now imagine if that Excel sheet was saved on 1,000 computers, everyone's computer.
It's so transparent.
It's so transparent, and every 10 minutes, that Excel sheet gets updated.
Yeah.
So every 10 minutes, there'll be one broadcast, there'll be one announcement to the whole computer. Azeez has lost 1 Bitcoin and now he only has 7 Bitcoin. That 1 Bitcoin is now with Nikki.
Right.
The remaining, it just announces, and then all the computers say, okay, I heard. Then they all write it down.
And is this what they call a blockchain?
Exactly.
Right.
Blockchain. That literally just blocks
This
every
piece of information.
exact period in one block. Then in the next 10 minutes, between that 10 minutes is making a new block. 10 minutes is up, a new block. 10 minutes is up, a new block.
It's history, right?
Literally, and it's history that cannot be changed, because if you
Yeah.
want to change one, you can change it,
But it
you
fucks
now
up
have
the
to-
rest.
It fucks up the rest. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't fuck up the rest. It would. It would be like, okay, you want to change this one, but it's gonna ask everybody.
Yes.
Is that true? He has.
Yeah.
If 999 computer says that's not true,
Yeah.
it's going to kick that computer out of the network.
Right.
Like,
So
fuck off.
that's how this works.
And that's the whole concept of blockchain, and that's why it's decentralized. And that's why no government, no bank, no millionaire, no celebrity, no footballer, no musician, no one can change it. No one can do that. No one can change it. Literally.
But they can influence the way it goes, right?
A little depends on how.
I'm not sure about a little
depends on
bit.
what-
I have something to say about, like, because
Okay,
you know, like,
okay, go for it. Go for it.
I
Tell
have
me.
been watching the charts lately, and I have to say, like, it's bloody red. So yeah. So
Oh, welcome.
these whales have taken something out of the pie, right? So there's probably
Okay.
people at work here, right? So why would it go
Okay.
down, right?
It can't. It will go down. It will. It
I mean,
has
it's a
to go
cycle.
down.
Yeah, it has to go down. I mean,
It will go down, and
it's buying season. Yeah.
exactly. If you see it like that,
Yeah.
like, when there's a dip, but like remember what I said earlier on about what Warren Buffett said. When it's, for me, I see it like that. When it's red, I'm like, oh, yay, time to buy.
Yeah, time to buy.
Time to buy, baby. Because, like I said, I haven't said this before, but like, I'm sure some of your viewers would know, like, it's just 21 million Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I think that's an open secret now. Like, everybody knows it. 21.
everyone.
It's limited.
21 million. There's nothing more. Just 21 million. So I don't care even if it's a 0.00. And I think I mentioned this to you when last week, man.
Yeah.
There are 42 million millionaires in the whole world.
Right.
42 million. All the millionaires in Thailand, in the Philippines, in India, in America, the celebrities, non-celebrities.
They have a piece of
They
the
are-
pie.
There are 42 million of them.
Right.
If all 42 million people, all 42 million people wanted to buy Bitcoin, they all cannot afford 1 Bitcoin,
Yeah. I get you now.
because 42, 21, even all of them cannot afford 1 Bitcoin. So people always say like, oh, Bitcoin is so expensive. I just laugh. If you think, and that's the thing, like, this is part of my unpleasant truth mindset. It's laziness, it's greed, which greed is needed sometimes. It's laziness, it's greed, it's lack of looking at the bigger picture, looking
Right.
at the long term. Even if it's 0.005, I don't care what the price it is now, just buy, because we are still very early.
Early. That's what they always
Very,
say. It's early.
very, very early. It's still very early. It's only 21 million, and right now in circulation, yeah, there are whales. You're right. There are whales that are buying and increasing the price,
Pumping
reducing
and
the price,
dumping.
pumping it. I don't think you can't really do that with Bitcoin. If you right now, the level at which it's now
Yeah.
over $1 trillion,
You can't play around with it anymore.
you can't play around with. No one would pump and dump. You can pump and dump Dogecoin and
Yeah.
Monero, not really, but like most of these other 8,000 cryptocurrency. But you would be stupid to pump it because look, if I'm a whale, I have 20,000 Bitcoin, and I'm like, okay, I want the price of Bitcoin to go down. So what do? You flood the market with it. It's all about supply and demand.
Right.
Everything is supply and demand, right? So the more demand there is for something, the higher the price is. The less demand, the lower the prices.
So you're saying there's no demand right now.
There is demand, but the demand is not that high for the value of, say, 60,000.
Yeah.
That's just the meaning. The value is not that high for the value.
Imagine that, like 2 weeks ago, this thing was around 60 plus. I thought it was gonna reach. I thought it was gonna break 70, man. Honestly.
We don't know the future, but I think $1 million is what everyone should be looking at. So if someone told you that buy this thing, there are lots of memes online that you see that people will show 2010 or 2015 Bitcoin at 10,000. You see the other person say, oh, it's too expensive. At 12,000, oh, it's too expensive. At 15,000, oh, it's too expensive. At 20,000, oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
And you just see it at present day. It's like, and this try and look at it from that aspect as well. Right now it's at 40,000, and people be like, "Oh, it's too expensive." What is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah, I'd still be thinking like, even now, like, I'd still be tempted to like, man, if I just grow this money first in some alt and then, put it in Bitcoin some other day once it grows. I still get tempted to think like that, Like, honestly, that's still my strategy to now, Azeez.
Depends on, like, look, at the end of the day, there are some things Bitcoin can do that other coins can't do, and there are some things some other coins can do that Bitcoin can almost never do.
Yeah, be cheap. Bitcoin can never be cheap. It can never reset, man. I wish there was this reset button for Bitcoin, like, shit. Let's rewind the time, man. Go back to 2009. Buy like 100 million of those, like, shit.
Some people make, and if you think about it, which is so true, I read this somewhere that someone was like, Bitcoin is a proof that time travel will never be invented.
Why not? I don't see the correlation, but I'm interested. Why?
Okay, let me why? Because say the way it's going, say in 20 years, Bitcoin is like $1 million, or in like because the last Bitcoin will be mined, I think, year 2140 something. Don't quote me on that, but I'm almost certain it's 2140 something. Either 2140 or 2142. So we are like way with like almost a century.
So not all those 21 million Bitcoins are available right now?
Yeah, right now it's
Really?
only 18 million. I think 18 million and something.
In order to do that, they need to open up like a mining factory or something.
Literally, not really,
All right.
because
It can be anyone, right? Anyone can mine for it, right?
yeah, anyone can mine for it. Anyone, you can. But right now, because Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin in such a way that, once again, he used supply and demand. Every 2 weeks, Bitcoin uses something called proof of work. I don't know if you've heard of that. Proof of work.
Wow. Okay.
Meaning you need to prove that you've worked for the network to reward you with a new fresh Bitcoin. And how do you prove that you've worked? By providing electricity. The more
Okay.
electricity you provide to it, the higher chances that you are the one that is going to get the next fresh Bitcoin.
Really?
So that's why before, like when Bitcoin was just out, you could even use your phone. If your phone was available back then, you could use your phone to mine Bitcoin and you would get rewarded like 100 Bitcoin.
Really?
But
They
the
do
more,
that.
yeah, people were using their laptop, just using their laptop to mine. Like you could just have your laptop sitting down there and
And
okay,
then
I want to mine.
and then now
And you
it's
get rewarded.
and now you
Now
have to
you need like
prove
a
you
freaking
yeah
factory.
you have to prove yourself to mine these.
Now you have to like prove with lots of electricity. You have to prove
Wow.
with like lots
I've
and
seen
lots of electricity.
these mining setups, man.
Factories,
Factories or like a home setup. Like, shit, what is this?
crazy.
Some IT kind of shit. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell.
you're just providing like this bit, you know.
It pays to be like ahead of the game, right? Like,
Yeah, but it's not too late
yeah,
in the sense. I just like going back to the whole, just see it long term. You know, I always tell people like right now when I speak to people, you know, if you had put, say, just if you were saving, this is one investment I would advise for yourself and you and
yeah.
listeners. You know, there's something they say like dollar cost average. So whatever currency you're using, naira, you know, dirhams cost average. So every month I'm just putting, it doesn't matter. And with Bitcoin you can buy 2 dirhams worth of Bitcoin, by the way,
Yeah.
because it's digital. Every month I'm only putting 200. Just that discipline. You just need that discipline to tell yourself, I
And just
don't
like
put too much, do
and just
just
like savings.
200. Just
Just
like
like
savings.
savings, yeah.
I'm just putting 200 dirhams. If you've done that,
And that's why like these podcasts was born, bro, because we want to get this
yeah, so,
information out there. I
some
mean,
out.
it's not that this information is not out there,
Yeah,
because the people need to hear it some more. That's all.
pretty much.
It needs to
Exactly.
knock on their door, like, hey, it's still here. It's still early. This game
You
is
know,
still early.
the game is still on. Game is still on.
Well, what can you say about these other coins chasing after Bitcoin, man?
Many have come, many will go.
Oh, really? What you
and
say?
and
Yeah, a lot of people are saying now. There's some speculation like Ethereum will overthrow Bitcoin in the near future. Do you see that happening?
they've always said so. Uh,
Really?
they will keep saying so. And you know, if it happens, it happens. But they've been saying so, and because I've been into this for a while, Ethereum doesn't have a cap, meaning Ethereum, if you go deeper, Ethereum doesn't have a limit. Like Bitcoin has 21 million.
Right.
Right now, Ethereum is about, I think, like 100 million, I think.
Okay.
100 million. And it doesn't have its, okay, this is it. After this, done.
There's no ceiling for Ethereum.
There is no ceiling for Ethereum. So if you're truly
That's
thinking
why.
of long term, you know, Ethereum is a very good technology. Very good technology. It has smart contracts with it. You know, there's so many
DeFi, NFT.
DeFi, NFT.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much you can do with it. And all this other cryptocurrency has like 12 billion. XRP has like 120 billion with a B.
B.
So when people say like, "Oh, XRP is gonna be $300," fuck no. That, yeah, it can be $10, but holy shit, it cannot be, and it's never gonna be an asset. It's never gonna be,
Really.
because all it takes for somebody out there that has like 100 million, just dump it in the market and the price will just nosedive.
Okay.
It's very easy for somebody that has like a million XRP or a million Ethereum to affect the market. It's harder for them to do that with Bitcoin. And it's only gonna get harder as time goes on.
Yeah.
It's only gonna get
So as
way
early as now, right, everyone, you heard it
as,
here.
as
Put
early
some
as
put some money into your wallet now. Go to Bitcoin. But honestly, Aziz, like I have been trying to put in like some XRP as well. That's like I said, my strategy is like, to come up with the money, to go back, put it in the blue chips, man. That is
look
my strategy. What do you have to say about that?
what
I'm
what what
interested.
I would say Bit XRP's all-time high was $3 50 something cents.
Really? It got that high?
Yep, in 2017.
Okay, so that did happen in the past.
It did happen in the past. But as it got in there, at that time, that was the bull market. Like everybody was crazy about cryptocurrency. And that was the first time where Bitcoin hit 20,000. Not really 20,000, it was
Right.
19,900 and something. So let's just call it 20,000. That was 2017, right?
Yeah.
Now the market crashed, boom, Bitcoin went down all the way from 19,000 all the way to 3,000.
And so did the
And
other alts go with it. Yeah.
so, exactly, so did the other cults go with it. But time went on, Bitcoin broke the 20,000, broke 21, broke 30, broke 40, broke 50,
Broke 60.
broke 60. Where is XRP?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a question mark though.
It hasn't even broken that $3 that it broke before, So I know, when I tell people and people get very excited about the technology and people get
Yeah.
very excited about the future and they get excited about cryptocurrency, I just, I go and come back like a week, 3 weeks, a month, a year.
You
And
go
then
back
they're
to
like, yeah,
you,
man.
you go
I
back to
go back to
history.
them.
Oh,
I
okay.
go back to them. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, how's savings? How's your cryptocurrency going? They're like, yeah, man, I'm into it. I'm buying my Dogecoin. I'm buying my
Yeah.
Monero. I'm buying my Litecoin. That one is just still. I'm buying my Trump coin. Oh, fuck me. Like, oh shit. I know.
Right. I see where you're coming from. I see it from your angle now. And is that coming from like, being entrenched in this scene for so long, right? The trends now.
Because
How
I
complex.
also experienced that.
Right. Because
I
you
also,
were at some point into these other alts too, like
yeah,
of course.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get bored with Bitcoin too, like shit. Like
Yeah, you're like, man, like, and when Bitcoin goes up, everybody
go.
follows it.
Yeah.
And when they all follow it, they like follow it and they go way higher than even Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Like in terms of their price,
Yeah.
they like 3x and Bitcoin would just do 1x. Then they would do like 20x and Bitcoin would do only 3x or
Gradual.
2x. And everybody's like, man, if I ban, and also people in their mind are like, oh, I don't know, whatever coin, Monero or Litecoin or something. They're like, okay, it's $17. Bitcoin is at 50,000. Man, what if Litecoin becomes or XRP gets to $50,000 from $2? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Subconsciously in people's mind, and not to bust their bubble, but it's part of and because I went through this,
Yeah.
and if you truly know what Bitcoin wants to do, you know that
Which is
Bitcoin is like, it wants to change the world. It wants to give freedom.
right.
That's the hope. It's once
To
people's
become
once
decentralized.
decentralized, and there's nothing like total control over people anymore. Like the whole stupid crap. Anyway, I'm in the Middle
Yeah.
East, so I can't really
Nah,
speak that much.
you should. Man, this is a
because
podcast.
yeah, but at the end of the day, you're
Yeah,
you're in
we're
you're
we're
you're in Middle East. You
we're
still
we're
gotta be very.
we're in Spotify. Yeah, we're in Spotify, man. They can't touch. No, no, just joking. But anyway, like, I was just going to go back to, like, yeah, I see
Yeah.
what you mean, man. Like, but when that really happens, man, there's this big question being thrown around. Like, yeah, if that does really happen, what would be like the only
How the war?
roadblock for that? Like, is there anything that would be stopping it? I've heard of stories like a world war would be coming. I mean, it's so far fetched, but it is possible, right? Like, 'cause the governments can't do anything about it, right? Unless if they start a
Yeah.
war, unless if
Yeah.
they do something about it, or hack into the hack into the blockchains or whatever.
Nah, you can't hack into the you, you can't control the blockchain. You can change the next block that is coming up. You can
Yeah,
tweak it, but to do that, you have to spend. Like right now, I think when Bitcoin was at like $30,000, people were estimating that if you wanted to change, like you should be able to change the blockchain and edit it, change people's
really.
balance and stuff like that. You can't do it, but you would need $7 billion per hour.
Fuck no. Cause you'll be
Seven
paying,
billion dollars
you'll be
worth
paying the rest of the.
you'll be paying. You have to control it. You have to, and that's like $7 billion per hour based on electricity that you are giving the network.
Wow, that would
That does not include the gadgets, the machines you have to buy. And by
that
the time you're buying that amount of machine, people will start getting curious. Like that amount, you know, it's so decentralized. And anyway, in regards to war, you brought up the aspect of war.
yeah.
Nobody in their right sense would. The reason why wars are happening in the world, when you go deeper into the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
is because the government can print infinitely.
That's why, like, they want to make a war. I mean, there's this story that's circulating that a war can
Yeah.
happen because, the crypto is winning over, and the money they're printing is not doing so much anymore.
Yeah, but now again, we started to have people like Tesla buying into it,
Yeah.
MicroStrategy buying
A lot of
into it.
people, a lot of companies are buying into it.
PayPal's now is allowing American PayPal, Venmo, PayPal is allowing Americans to buy and sell and buy even goods, buy laptop, buy
With crypto.
cinema ticket with crypto.
Right.
So we're getting to that stage where it's like,
It's
this
not a fad anymore.
it's not fad anymore. Everybody has it. Everybody is having it in their retirement fund, in their pension fund. People are having it like now. Tesla has bought into it. One of the biggest companies in America has it. You know,
This thing is
banks
so
are buying into
this
it.
thing is so powerful, right? It
Literally,
it dissolve it probably will dissolve, like, power of government power eventually. I mean, I
it
don't
would
know.
that yeah that is
That's a
that
possibility,
is
and
that's
that
the goal.
and that what scares me. Like, there's this possibility of the war. I mean, of an impending, like, like a war in place. To counter that. Control is control is everything for government, man. Like,
Yeah, control is everything,
yeah,
and the one of the major tools they have for control is of course the weapons. They all have the weapons, but money is another thing they have. Money is another tool they have to control us. You know, and once you can once you can break that tool of money, you break almost everything. And I think, if Bitcoin gets to like 15 trillion,
shit.
20 trillion, you know, by then we should start seeing the effect of that, where you don't have to, you know, some silly tax that they just tax people. A lot of things that are going to change. The world is going to
Lot.
be, that's not what Bitcoin is all about.
Man,
But,
I've learned a
but
lot, bro. Like, shit. And we need to
yeah,
have, like, more, like, discussions like this, man. Like, Yeah.
definitely, like, definitely.
This has been the
Uh,
unpleasant truth. I'm like, seriously, when I always like conversations like this, because I used to think of myself like someone who's very immature and like very not wise and with money and finances. So that's like
I think
I really welcome
that's
these kind of conversations. Like, mm,
that's a big step. Like, they say to solve your problems, to
acknowledge it.
solve
Yeah.
your weakness. Yeah, exactly. Just acknowledge it, and you've taken the first step to. I really like the fact that you always, that, okay, this, I'm fucking up here. That's one. You've taken the first step. You just need to take the next step, which is like, all right, I know I'm fucking up. What can I do to solve this shit? And that's respect to you for that. It takes
Thanks.
takes guts and takes balls
Yeah,
to
I
do
mean,
for,
like I've
for a
I've got
man
no,
to
I've got
admit.
nothing to lose, and the truth like really sells, man. Like for like I know there's a lot of people out there who are also like me, and they would really benefit from a talk like this, and they wouldn't mind a little of unpleasantness, like unpleasant truth to be exact. Why you come up with this, man? Where did this originally come from? Unpleasant truth sounds like a mantra, like sounds like a slogan, man. Like shit, I like it. Is that your motto for life? Like gotta suck this
Nah,
up or what?
this is all freaking Twitter, and this is all freaking
What?
this is all podcast. You know,
Oh,
I get stuff from, like, podcasts. Like,
and I
I
appreciate.
listen to Huge Upside.
Thanks, man. I appreciate the
Listen
support,
to
man. Hope we're giving you value because we're very beta right now. Like, seems like sometimes like not my co-host, but I pretty much just basically spit words and don't make sense. But and that's why I really need to invite people who like really add value to the show so that people can get something out of it. Because just face it, like my knowledge in all things is just really limited, man. Like that's why we keep inviting people and we keep on learning and our audience keeps learning and that's why they like coming back and they love to learn from people such as you, man.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
And this was hopefully many more to come. Even
Yeah.
you know, and when I told my wife I was coming on the show, I I was like, I've listened to a couple of episodes, and I'm like, I really, I'm very confused with the word huge upside. So
Really.
for real, because again, I feel like it's a very subjective
Yes. And
definition.
it
It's
gets thrown
your
into stock market too, into like crypto, right? There's a huge upside to this
side.
thing. Yeah. A lot of people were
But
thinking
anyway,
too like it had a lot to do with stocks or but no, it's something else, man,
no,
because we don't want to
but
limit
yeah,
ourselves.
to just a certain.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would say just um, I sort of see it as a positive things, and just being patient, looking towards the future. I think that's one of my huge upside. Just being patient, looking at the future, um, trying to, you know, to provide for my family, be grateful for everything. I've always said, hopefully, I keep saying this. I don't want $1 billion. No, I think the stress with $1 billion. I don't mind 20 million. I don't mind 50 million. I can surprise my wife and family almost every month or every 2 months. I can travel, maybe not in first class, but you know, regular economy. But I can buy a house at least. You know, and that's all I want, and that's all I'm looking for. And I think that is, with that as a target, those are my upsides: the family and the future. Just the technology, game, love games.
Oh, we need to talk about
Looking
more
forward.
gaming, man.
Yeah, for sure. There was someone you invited. Oh, forgot his name.
That guy,
But
Kuya
yeah, that
Doyle, Papa,
he plays
Dota.
a lot of Dota. Yeah,
Yeah.
not my thing, but I was like, damn man, I'd love to be on the show with him and we just
Oh
talk
yeah.
game. We nerd
That
it
guy is
off.
here, by the way.
Oh, tell him
He's
I
an ex.
said I'm a big, not a fan,
Yeah.
but
You heard
but
his episode though.
I like the fact that a 37-year-old person doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't doesn't care and
Doesn't give a fuck, man.
plays games
This is what he
and he's
wants.
still he's still humble. He's not doing it and being sort of crazy and like trying to gain attention. And there were parts where I
Trying
listened
to
to where
make
he was,
clout.
yeah, yeah.
It's
So,
part of our
so
game, by the way. We're trying to get
yeah, I know,
clout,
I know, I know.
I'm very open. Like I admit it. Like shit, I'm a whore. Like, I have to play the game, man. Like shit.
Yeah. Some people, yeah, that's their thing.
I'm not, cause
That's what they would need
yeah, cause I'm not
in order
smart,
to.
man. I wish I was smart. I could
Same here, man.
yeah, say
Same
some
here.
wisdom on the show. But what can I do? I know I will do what I do best.
No, but to have what you're doing, it's big courage, man. Respect.
Yeah, man.
And
Like
don't
like
don't
I finally
don't
found
give up.
something. Yeah, thanks, bro. I finally found something that I know, like I can lean on. That I'm very passionate about. That it took me 30 years to figure out what it is, and this is it, man. Connecting with people, learning from people. Yeah, it all aligns, man. I feel like I'm going back to school. I thought I'm done with school, but shit, I'm still learning from people. But it's fun
Life,
though.
life is fucking school, so
Shit,
you ain't
the
graduating
real
anytime soon.
school,
The real school,
the
school of
real
hard
school,
knocks, man.
the real school that nobody talks about, man. You don't even learn about this at school. You don't pay school to teach you stuff like this.
Like,
And this is it, man. Thanks,
yep, yep.
Aziz, bro. Thank you for
Thank you
dropping
so
on our
much.
show,
Thank
man.
you so
I learned
much.
a lot, a lot.
Love our videos? Please click the like button or hit subscribe. This is the huge upside.